Hello Virgo, this is Citrina and this is your July 2018 astrology forecast. So we start the month off with Venus in Leo until the 10th, and then it goes into your sign on the 10th. So Venus will be in Virgo from the 10th through the end of the month. Now, let's compare the energy of Venus in Leo to Venus in Virgo. Okay, now for you, Venus is in Leo in your 12th house. And the 12th house is all about manifesting your dreams. It's about things of a subconscious nature, such as prayer, meditation, religion. And it goes into your first house on the 10th. And the first house is all about how you appear to the world, your demeanor, your personality, your belief system. So now, if you're dating, let's compare the energy to Venus in Leo. When Venus is in Leo, it's all about splurging. It's about extravagance. When Venus is in Virgo, it is about frugality. It's about being frugal. So now, if you are a Virgo and you're dating someone, remember, Venus in Virgo is more of an observant energy. It's more of an analytical energy. So let's say you're dating someone. Venus in Virgo in your first house will have you being observant about the person's demeanor, about how they look, like their appearance, things of that nature. So appearance and demeanor are going to be very important to you when you're dating, when Venus is in Virgo. Now, if you are dating a Virgo, and you want to impress that person, make sure that your demeanor is impeccable. You know, if you're dating a female, make sure you're pulling out the chair for her to sit down, opening up the door, things of that nature. And then make sure, you know, your appearance is really nice, because the Virgos will be very observant of those things when Venus is in Virgo. So that's Venus. Let's move on, because Mars is still retrograde in Aquarius. It's going to be in Aquarius all month. For you, Mars is in Aquarius in your house dealing with your daily routine, your health, your vitality. So right now, Mars is retrograde. So for a lot of you Virgos out there, you might not really want to work out, or you're not too concerned with eating healthy, things of that nature, when Mars is retrograde in the house dealing with health, vitality, also your daily routine. You might be a little bit slacking on your daily routine when Mars is retrograde. Also, I want to mention Mercury. Mercury is going to be in Leo all month. However, Mercury goes retrograde on July 26th. Now, Mercury rules communication, travel, it rules technology. So when Mercury is retrograde, it is not a good time to buy any new electronics. It's not a good time to sign a contract. It's not a good time to make any plans, any travel plans. Now, if you already have travel planned for this time period, it's fine to, you know, take that trip. However, if you are thinking about planning a trip during that time, you might run into a lot of different delays with that. So I just wanted to mention that. Now, let's get back on track, because Jupiter goes direct on July 10th. For you, Jupiter is in Scorpio in your house dealing with communications, short distance travel, siblings, neighbors. So Jupiter goes direct. So whatever plans you've been making behind those topics, you will see those plans put into motion. You will see some things start to happen regarding what you've been thinking about during the past few months while Jupiter was retrograde. So let's look at the sun. The sun will be in Cancer until the 22nd, and then as of the 22nd, we can start telling all of the awesome Leos out there happy birthday. Now, one thing we need to watch out for this month. This is the sun squaring Uranus. And when the sun has this aspect to Uranus, you can expect to hear unexpected news. I would like to tell you that it's really going to be great news. Hopefully it will be. But because it's a square, squares usually denote some type of challenging aspect. So for you, the sun is in your 12th house, which deals with the subconscious. It also deals with places of isolation, such as hospitals and jails. And Uranus is in your house 9, which deals with the legal system. It deals with law. It deals with philosophy. It deals with long distance travel. So you will be hearing unexpected news surrounding those two areas. Those two areas are dealing with the law, philosophy, long distance travel. It's also dealing with other cultures. So around those topics, you will hear unexpected news. Also, anything dealing with maybe religion, prayer, church, places of isolation such as hospitals and jails. So you will hear unexpected news around those topics. Now, it can be unexpected news surrounding any topic, but because these planets, the sun and Uranus, fall within these areas, more than likely for you, it will be unexpected news related to those areas. Okay, so the new moon, let's talk about the new moon. The new moon is going to be a partial solar eclipse. Now, let's talk a little bit about partial solar eclipse. So basically, a solar eclipse is when the moon is between the sun and the earth. Now, this is a time period of, this is a time of transformation, a time of taking action. Now, because it's a partial solar eclipse and it is in opposition to Pluto, you can expect to hear about some type of drama or crisis around this time. And if it is involving you, it looks like you will avoid that crisis or that drama. So just keep that in mind. Now, everyone might really feel this solar eclipse energy. However, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn will feel this energy the most. And this is an energy that can affect us for the next 6 months. And with this partial solar eclipse, it is like a preview of what to expect in the coming year. So keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the, also let me pull a card for you. Now, the new moon in Cancer is a partial solar eclipse, and it falls in your house 11, which deals with your friends and large social groups. So what I'm going to do is pull a card for you to see what you should concentrate on at this new moon. Now, for you, it falls in your house dealing with friendships. So looks like you might be concentrating on that at the new moon. But let's see what the cards have to say. Temptation. So at this new moon in Cancer, you need to concentrate on whatever temptations you have as far as any addictions or anything like that. You need to concentrate on that. You can even sit down, write down things that tempt you that you know you need to stay away from, such as maybe you're eating a lot of junk food, or maybe you are whatever type of addiction you could have. Maybe you gamble, maybe you like to splurge shopping. So whatever you are having some type of weakness for, you need to write that down and then figure out ways that you can get that under wraps. Now, I'm not surprised that you have this card because remember, Mars is retrograde in the area dealing with your health and your vitality. So it looks like maybe you haven't been working out, going for walks, really not doing too much exercising. And then with Mars also retrograde in this area, which also deals with your daily routine, you might be slacking on your daily routine. Maybe you, instead of going to work, you're calling in sick and just watching TV. I mean, anything. It can be anything. So at the new moon, concentrate on all of your temptations. Okay, so let's move on to the full moon. Now, the full moon is not just a regular full moon. It is going to be a total lunar eclipse. So this is like a full moon on steroids. Now, a lunar eclipse is when the earth is between the sun and the moon. Now, we all know that full moons a lot of times are a very emotional time. So just remember to remain calm. And also remember that eclipses come and they happen because they help us to release things in our life that no longer serve us. Sometimes we have things in our life that we know we need to release and we're hesitant to do it. Well, when an eclipse comes around, it helps us release those things. So now, most of us will feel this energy, which is going to be an emotional energy. However, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, those signs will feel it most. And also, Mars is in Aquarius along with this full moon. And remember, Mars, even though it's retrograde, remember it's still Mars, okay? So a lot of times Mars can bring up anger in people or bring out anger in people. So just remember that. Now, one thing I want to talk about, which I've already mentioned here, but I want to group the different activities this month. So what I'm going to do, I have grouped everything into two groups. The first group I'm calling the Take Action Gang. So the first group involves Jupiter going direct on July 10th and the new moon in Cancer on July 12th, which is also a partial solar eclipse. Those two together is going to help you take action on some things that you've been thinking about in your life. Now, the second group, I'm calling the second group the Emotional Gang, because we have the sun going into Leo, and we know Leo can be about being dramatic. We have the sun square Uranus, which is unexpected news. We have Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Leo on July 26th. That's all about something going haywire as far as communication, technology, excuse me, things of that nature. And then we have the full moon, which is a total lunar eclipse in Aquarius on July 27th. And that is a bag of emotional things waiting to happen. And it's coupled with Mars. Even though Mars is retrograde, remember, and I've been giving this story to every sign, Mars this month is almost like a vicious dog. If there was ever a vicious dog in your neighborhood where every time you pass in front of the gate, the dog is barking at you, growling, trying to get at you, trying to jump through the gate, well, just imagine one time if you are passing by the gate and the dog is not barking. It makes you feel like, oh, hey, I can pet the dog now. And you reach out your hand to pet the dog and the dog bites you. That's because even though the dog was not barking, it's still a vicious dog, okay? Same thing with Mars. Even though Mars is retrograde, remember, it's still Mars. It can still bring out anger in people. So that's a lot of emotional energy going on between July 22nd through July 27th. Remember, Sun is in Leo. That can be about drama. Sun square Uranus, unexpected news. Mercury retrograde in Leo, who knows what can happen. Your computer might crash or something. Full moon in Aquarius, July 27th. That's an emotional bag bubbling. And then you have Mars in Aquarius mixed with the total lunar eclipse. So remember to remain calm. Now, one thing that's helping us to get through this emotional period is that Uranus and Saturn are in a good position to each other. They're in a good connection to each other. So that's helping us out because they're both in earth signs. And earth signs are like a grounding energy. So that's going to help us stay grounded during all of this emotional upheaval that might go on. I'm not saying that it will happen, but it is a possibility. So it's good that you know beforehand what's possible. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that Venus is going to form a bond with Pluto. So that is also going to help us stay grounded by the end of the month. Remember, you have Venus in your first house, and then you have Pluto in your fifth house of fun and creativity. So that's something to look forward to. So this has been your July astrology forecast, Virgo. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And if you would like a reading with me, my email address is listed in the description box below, and it's also right here. I will be happy to get a reading out to you. And until next month, Virgo, have a great month.